What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. Now, I get a lot of questions on synchronicities. When you first have a spiritual awakening, the universe will bombard you with a ton of synchronicities, almost to where you feel overwhelmed. So much so, you may get to the point where you find yourself yelling at the universe, okay, I get it, you're trying to communicate with me. But what the heck are you trying to tell me? So today I want to dig into what is synchronicity and how can we use synchronicity on our spiritual journey. So let's dive into this fascinating topic right now. Let's go. Okay guys, so what is synchronicity? I decided to take a look at what The Matrix says about synchronicity. And our good old buddy, Dr. Google, says a synchronicity is the simultaneous occurrence of events which appear significantly related but have no discernible causal connection. Google goes on to provide a quote from the famous psychologist Carl Jung, who I think actually coined the phrase synchronicity in the first place. Carl Jung says that synchronicity is a term used to describe the circumstances of events which appear meaningfully related yet lack causal connection. Now, I want to focus on that phrase meaningfully related because without the personal meaning to you specifically, which is the universe's message to you, then these are just coincidences. Now, if you've been on your spiritual journey for longer than a minute, you know that there are no such a thing as coincidences in an absolute intelligent universe. And that is because all things are connected. Universal mind is all things, runs through all things. But when these coincidences have a personal meaning for you specifically, now they're synchronicities. So if these synchronicities are meaningful to you specifically, then that means that you are receiving guidance and insight from a non-physical intelligence that loves you. Why else would you be receiving guidance and insight other than love? And this is why we want to trust the signs, as they say, because those signs, those synchronicities are coming from love. And what is the dominant frequency of source consciousness? Love. So when you act on those synchronicities, you're acting in alignment with source consciousness. When you act in alignment with source consciousness, you're acting in alignment with your greatest version, which now allows that greatest version to start materializing, and that new identity begins to lay down roots in your current timeline. So we can look at synchronicities as kind of the spiritual road signs to your greatest version. So synchronicities are kind of like a spiritual GPS, if you will. What are some examples of synchronicities? Well, repeating numbers, of course. We have to mention the repeating numbers. Repeating numbers are a favorite tool the universe uses to expand your conscious awareness, usually localized around your physical body, up into higher consciousness, which is the all mind or source consciousness. So all of a sudden you become aware that there is this intelligence that is familiar with your situation, your questions, and your path intimately, and is offering guidance. This is such a reassuring and comforting feeling. Now, in previous videos, I have listed an angel numbers meaning chart, which has been super popular. I'll list it here again so you can take a screenshot. Now, this chart is meant to establish a mutual dialogue between you and your spirit guides. Once your spirit guides know that you have this chart, they will get very specific on the messages that they send you, and they'll know that you will know what they mean now because you've got the chart. So other synchronicities doesn't necessarily need to be repeating numbers either. It can be a birth date or a specific number or set of numbers that means something specific to you. So more examples of synchronicities could be, let's say that you feel called to start that business of service to others, and then magically, or shall we say synchronistically, you happen to meet someone that is actually in that business now. Interesting coincidence, right? Or let's say that you're on your path, you're starting to second guess yourself, you might be feeling alone and scared, and then all of a sudden you see this little white feather that just sticks out like a sore thumb when you're on your walk to clear your mind or something, or you see your birth date on a license plate, which means you have to be present to see these synchronicities. Don't have your mind off in some future scenario. You got to be present to get the spiritual awakening signs, people. Or maybe you're really struggling with something in your life and you're looking for those answers, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe a Lightways video pops up and answers your question, almost as if that Lightways guy knew exactly what you needed, exactly when you needed it, right? So now that we know what is synchronicity, how do we use synchronicity? Now, you guys may remember from my video, how to use intuition, which you can go watch right here after you watch this video. I'll link it in the bottom as well. But in that video, I stated that you want to act on your intuition. My advice for synchronicity is no different. You want to trust the universe and act on that synchronicity. Just as acting on your intuition trains you to trust yourself, acting on synchronicity trains you to trust the universe. Now, I want to make a very clear distinction here between an organic, natural flowing synchronicity from the universe and a forced message from you. Here's what I mean by that. I know a lot of you guys out there are twin flame viewers, which means you're also into tarot. So I'm going to use an example that you might be able to relate to. Ever ask someone to do a tarot reading for you and you don't like the answer, so you ask them to pull a confirmation card, right? Oh, yeah, no, that doesn't resonate. Pull a confirmation card? Yeah, I don't know about that one. Can I get a confirmation card, please? That doesn't sound right. Can I get a confirmation card? And you keep asking for confirmation cards until your ego feels warm and fuzzy about the answer that it's going to get. Guys, you got to remember the ego is all about control. The ego fears that it's not going to be able to control the emotional charge that it's going to get if it hears something that it doesn't want to hear, do, or believe. So don't ask the question if your ego can't stand the answer. But the moral of the story is get the ego out of the way when it comes to synchronicity. Why? Because ego is aligned with fear, which holds the highest level of vibrational dissonance to source consciousness, whose dominant frequency is love. So essentially, when you're in that state, it just means that you are approaching it from your head space instead of the heart space. So how do we trust the synchronicity? Well, from the previous examples, you can see why it's super important for you to honestly examine your energetic state when you received that synchronicity. If you were in a state of anxiety and control, then it's probable that you cajoled that sign to be what you wanted to be, something that your ego was comfortable hearing. But if you were present in a grateful, there's that magical catalyst again, gratitude, in a grateful state of allowing and trust, which is a flow state, then there's a great chance that that was an authentic message from the universe for your highest good. So another way of saying that is to just trust the universe. And that happens when you let go of control and fear. How to use intuition? Well, remember when I said earlier that acting on those synchronistic signs is acting in alignment with love, which is in alignment with your greatest version and source consciousness. Well, the opposite of love is fear. So you're acting in alignment with ego when you don't trust the signs. You're hardwiring in that old identity into your current timeline by following those old egoic behavior patterns that the universe is trying to get you to not follow by giving you the synchronicities that are in alignment with your greatest version. So fear is the gatekeeper to your greatest version. Fear blocks that next level up, whether it be an up-leveling in love, abundance, or health. And you'll actually even self-sabotage yourself if you believe the ego's lies of not being worthy of that next level. So how do we interpret synchronicity? Feel it, don't think it. So this is where you want to use your intuition, which is a subtle feeling that comes from your heart, to interpret the meaning of the synchronicity. When we try to use our mind to interpret the meaning, that's where the ego will step in and try to control the situation and force that meaning to be what it wants it to be. Or we'll just overthink, overanalyze, and then probably get analysis paralysis. So if you're going in circles in your mind, that's when you know the ego has taken over the situation and is searching for control, and you're not in an intuitive state at all. So you just want to stop yourself, take a deep breath, and put your conscious awareness in your heart space. You can even put your hand on your heart to really get your focus to your heart space. And then what you want to do is just be still. And much the same as now, while all of a sudden remembering a dream, because you got your mind out of the way, the meaning of that synchronicity will be felt. Now, question of the day. What is your process for interpreting synchronicities? What do you guys do out there, Light Fam? Do you guys meditate on it? Maybe you ask your spirit guides for confirmation. Let us all know in the comments below what your process for interpreting synchronicities are. If you need a helping hand on your spiritual journey, someone to get you through to the other side with clarity and a game plan, we can work together one-on-one through Zoom. Check the description below for that. If you have a question for me, add me over on Instagram _Lightways. Until next time, I will see all of you guys in the next video. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.